was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. So, yeah.
You know, he did his first album, I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me.
Because I know that for him, that's hurtful. I would get a pit in my stomach doing interviews because I'm just like, I can't like, it's like being like traumatized, kind of like you're too scared to like speak or open yourself up or say the wrong thing.
For years, people have whispered about what really happened to Justin Bieber behind the scenes. The wild parties, the older men in the room, the mentors who got a little too close, and most of all, the strange, unexplainable connection between Justin and Diddy. This was never just about guidance or friendship. Anyone who has paid close attention could feel that something darker was brewing underneath the surface. And now, Hailey is starting to talk. She has always played the role of the supportive wife, standing beside Justin through every public breakdown, every rehab stint, and every awkward paparazzi moment. But behind closed doors, she has known the truth for a long time. Now, as more people come forward and the pressure builds, Hailey is no longer willing to keep it all bottled up. What she is beginning to share goes far beyond tabloid gossip. It points to a deeply disturbing reality that Justin was allegedly used, manipulated, and even offered up by Diddy to some of the most powerful men in the entertainment world. This is not just about shady parties or vague allegations. Hailey is hinting at the real names: Clive Davis, Odell Beckham, Jr., other influential figures who always seem to be in Justin's orbit without any clear reason why. She is not just trying to protect her husband anymore. She is exposing what he endured. According to what is now slowly being revealed, Justin was placed in rooms he never should have been in, surrounded by older, powerful men who were less interested in mentoring and more interested in control. And Diddy? He was the one who opened those doors, the one who facilitated those relationships, the one who allegedly treated Justin not as a young artist, but as currency to gain favor and maintain influence.
I don't know if I'd be alive for sure. It was dark, so I'm very, very grateful to have influences in my life that have played a huge part in me seeing their relationship with Jesus and their relationship with their wives and their relationship with their kids and saying that's what I want. But I want to definitely tell my story so that if that resonates to anybody, that they can hopefully learn from it.
Hailey is choosing to speak now because she knows the cost of silence. She's watched her husband carry the weight of secrets that were never his to begin with, and she is ready to put names to the pain. This is not just about protecting Justin anymore. It is about exposing an industry that let this happen. So if you thought the story ended with Diddy's lawsuits and quiet settlements, think again. The truth is just starting to come out, and Hailey is making sure it is heard loud and clear. When Justin Bieber was still just a kid with a dream and a YouTube channel, his entire world changed almost overnight. Fame came fast, but it did not come free. One of the most defining and disturbing moments in his early rise came when Usher, the superstar who helped discover him, introduced him to Sean Combs, also known as Diddy. What should have been a moment of mentorship quickly turned into something much more complicated and much more questionable. To the outside world, it looked like a powerful alliance, a young boy with talent being taken under the wing of two music legends. But what most people did not see was how early and how intensely Diddy inserted himself into Justin's life. The relationship went beyond business, it went beyond music, it became personal, and it became controlling. There are actual videos from those early years that show exactly how close Diddy got to a teenage Justin. In one clip, which has resurfaced and gone viral multiple times, Diddy is seen spending what he calls 48 hours straight with Justin. The video shows Diddy promising Justin the entire world. He says he is going to give him everything: girls, cars, Ferraris. He speaks to him like someone offering a lifestyle, not guidance. You can see Justin smiling awkwardly. He is clearly young, clearly still a kid, and yet he is already being pulled into an adult world full of temptations and power plays.
It's a little dusty, but you know, go get the front shot of this.
Man.
That out. Minute.
Woo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna be driving this next year.
Yeah, when you get 16, you come down there, you gotta, you know, wear your seat.
I mean, I'm 15. You could ride in the passenger seat. I got my permit. Not yet.
No.
All right,
No.
16.
You're not ready.
16.
Let's slow down. Let's slow down, Justin.
Okay.
Let's slow down,
One
okay?
step at a time.
But yeah, the keys is yours when when you get 16. You're good to go.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion.
Okay. I get the mansion? Yeah. So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. I have been given custody of him. He signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
Going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you wanna do? What you wanna do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
A man after my heart. That's what I'm talking about.
This was not a harmless bonding moment. It was an introduction, a presentation. Diddy was not simply offering advice. He was showing Justin what this world could look like. But behind the private jets and luxury suites was a much darker reality. Diddy was allegedly mentoring Justin for a world of influence and submission. Not the good kind of mentorship. Control. Hailey Bieber knows this. She has seen the footage. She has listened to the stories. And more importantly, she has lived beside the version of Justin that came out of those years. She did not meet a celebrity. She met someone broken, someone who had survived something that very few people ever understood. When Hailey entered Justin's life, the public saw a fresh love story. But behind the scenes, she was piecing together a painful puzzle. There were emotional breakdowns, mysterious trauma, sudden mood swings, and always this pattern of older men from Justin's past showing up in strange ways. People like Diddy, people like Clive Davis, people like Odell Beckham Jr., who seemed to float through the same social circles and party environments. Over time, Hailey began to see it clearly. These men were not just friends or industry supporters. They were part of a network that had access to Justin from a young age. They were part of a system that allowed and encouraged Diddy to play gatekeeper. And through that gate, Justin was allegedly introduced to things no child should ever experience. Usher, whether knowingly or not, handed Justin over to Diddy with full trust. He believed Diddy would help him, but what happened instead was a total loss of control. Diddy brought Justin into his world, not the world of music deals and creative growth. The world of late-night parties, the world of secrecy, the world of favors, pressure, and manipulation. Hailey has started speaking on all this with more courage now. Her words are careful but powerful. In recent moments, she has hinted at what Justin endured. She has alluded to the emotional toll it took. She knows he was put in rooms with powerful men who saw his youth as an opportunity. She knows those promises of girls and cars were not harmless. They were bait. She watched the aftermath unfold in private, the breakdowns, the retreat from the spotlight, the moments Justin could not explain even to her. And she knew that some of the deepest wounds came from that early relationship with Diddy. A relationship that never looked right and now feels even more disturbing in the context of everything that is coming to light. Justin Bieber was not protected. He was passed around. He was given to men who used access as power and power as currency. And Diddy, far from being a positive mentor, allegedly became the main figure facilitating these connections.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me and, just turn their back on you in a second. So if she ever needs me, I'm gonna be here for her. But yeah, just protecting those moments because people take for granted encounters and
Hailey is not just trying to defend her husband anymore. She is slowly exposing the web of people who had a hand in what he went through. She is reminding everyone that behind the pop star was a child placed in the hands of predators dressed as icons. The video of Diddy promising Justin Ferraris and girls is not just a cringeworthy relic. It is a piece of evidence, a piece of the story that now finally makes sense when seen through the lens of what Hailey is starting to share. And this is only the beginning. From the very beginning, everything. Justin Bieber's rise felt like a fairy tale. One minute, he was a kid making covers on YouTube. The next, he was the biggest pop star in the world. But behind that global success, behind the hit singles and screaming fans, was a much darker trade-off that very few people saw coming. According to years of whispers in the industry, Diddy played a major role in that behind-the-scenes transformation. Not just as a powerful figure in music, but as someone who allegedly knew exactly how to lure young talent into his world. The promise of fame, the promise of wealth, the promise of access to anything and everything. That was the hook. That was the trap. People close to Justin, and even Justin himself, have alluded to the fact that there were things happening off-camera that never felt right. From the start, there were rumors that Diddy tagged him in not just as a mentor, but as a gatekeeper. That if Justin wanted fame, if he wanted everything that came with it, he would have to play by certain rules. And those rules allegedly came with a price.
Think about how young I was and so impressionable. And you have everybody telling me how awesome I am at all times, you know, and like.
It's like taking a kid and putting a kid in a room full of nothing but sweets.
Right.
And just saying, I'll be back in 2 days.
Exactly. I just want people to understand, like, the psychology behind why I potentially could have problems.
What that meant, according to some insiders, was being introduced to certain men, older men, powerful men who moved through the industry quietly but had deep influence. They were not just part of the music scene, they were part of Diddy's inner world. Justin was brought into that world as a teenager, too young to question what was really going on, and too eager to say no. At first, it was gifts, flashy cars, designer clothes, first-class everything. It looked like success, but it was really bait. Justin was being taught that if he stayed close, if he stayed obedient, he would keep receiving more. But with those luxuries came something else: expectations, allegiances, certain kinds of attention that no child should ever be forced to navigate. And when JB tried talking about it on national television, he was also shut down by Puffy.
You know, Diddy bought his son a Bentley. Maybe, you know, he could buy you one also while you're
He
out.
got me a Lamborghini.
Oh, well, that's nice.
I haven't gotten it yet, though.
Yeah, I know. When is that coming, that Lamborghini? We talked about this last
He
time.
had the Lamborghini for a day or two, and he had access to the house. And he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television.
Oh, apparently not.
Something.
Now imagine if Puffy could shut him up like that in an interview in front of the whole world. Imagine what his influence would be like behind closed doors. Now, years later, Justin himself has begun to reflect publicly on how he was pulled toward all the wrong things during that time. In interviews and documentaries, he has admitted that the pressure, the temptations, and the people surrounding him almost destroyed him. He has talked about being a kid in a world that did not care he was a kid, a world where adults blurred lines and pushed boundaries, and nobody stopped to protect him. Looking back, Justin has said he was being led down a dark path, that he was being exposed to lifestyles that were toxic and damaging. At the time, he did not know any better. He was just trying to fit in, just trying to survive. And when the people guiding you are the same people exploiting you, how can you even tell what is normal and what is not? The rumors about what Diddy allegedly made him do in exchange for that fame have never gone away. And as more lawsuits and allegations pile up against Diddy from other people, those rumors are starting to make more sense. The pieces are clicking into place. What seemed like random chaos in Justin's past now looks like the aftermath of deep manipulation. Hailey Bieber has stood by and watched him try to heal. And what she has hinted at recently shows that she knows exactly what that fame cost him. It was never just about music or stage lights or chart-topping singles. It was about survival. It was about being used. Justin got the fame he was promised, but at what price? And who else was involved in making him pay it? The answers to those questions are finally starting to surface, and they are nothing like the story the world thought it knew. Now, anyone who has spent real time around Diddy has come away saying the same thing. Something about his world was always off. Loud, excessive, secretive, unpredictable. And for those who were young and just getting started in the industry, it could be downright dangerous. Diddy had a way of drawing people in with promises of power and exposure, but the deeper they went, the more twisted everything seemed to get. Years ago, before Justin Bieber was even on the scene, Usher himself experienced this firsthand. As a teenager, Usher was sent to Diddy's so-called flavor camp, a place that was supposedly designed to shape young talent and give them a taste of the industry. But according to Usher's own words, the experience was anything but normal. He has openly admitted that what went on there was wild and out of control. He said the things he saw were way beyond what any any kid should be exposed to. Even years later, when looking back, Usher said flat out that he would never send his own child to flavor camp. That alone speaks volumes. If the man who lived through it, and then rose to superstardom with Diddy's help, still carries that level of discomfort about it, it is clear there was something seriously wrong. And this is the same man who later introduced a young Justin Bieber to Diddy, the same Diddy who is now facing serious allegations of SA racketeering and other disturbing crimes. It begs the question, if Usher knew how chaotic and inappropriate Diddy's world really was, why did he bring Justin into it? Maybe Usher thought it would be different. Maybe he assumed things had changed. But if the flavor camp stories are any indication, Diddy had been operating this way for a long time, pulling young artists into his orbit, surrounding them with older men, flashing luxury and excess in their faces, breaking them down, controlling them through access and temptation. With everything that is now coming to light, those old stories are hitting differently. The uncomfortable moments, the awkward interviews, the parties, the camps, they were not just eccentric behavior from a music mogul. They were warning signs. And Justin Bieber was thrown into that environment as a teenager, the same way Usher was before him. Only this time, the cost may have been even higher. The psychological damage, the trauma, the years of emotional breakdowns and silence. Now that Hailey Bieber is finally starting to speak out in her own way, it is becoming clearer that Justin never stood a chance. He was handed off to someone who had already built a reputation for creating chaos behind closed doors. And the very people who should have known better, the ones who had already lived through it, were the ones who opened the door. Usher admitted he would never send his own child into that world, but Justin was sent. And the effects of that decision are still unfolding today. It is not just Hailey Bieber, not just Usher, and not just quiet rumors anymore. More people are stepping forward, and each voice adds another piece to the puzzle of what Justin Bieber was really facing in his early years. What once seemed like vague industry gossip is now starting to look like a well-established pattern of exploitation, manipulation, and silence. And some of the loudest voices are coming from people who were either inside the machine or standing close enough to see how it really worked. In a recent YouTube interview that caught the attention of millions, former mobster Michael Franzese sat down with Suge Knight. These are not internet personalities or gossip columnists. These are men who know the underworld of the entertainment industry. They know the power players. They know how influence moves behind closed doors. During this conversation, Suge Knight made claims that shocked even the most jaded viewers. He spoke directly about Diddy's early interactions with Justin Bieber, and the picture he painted was far from innocent. Suge said that from the very beginning, Diddy seemed to take an unusual interest in Justin. He strongly implied that the Bad Boy Records mogul was drawn to Justin in a way that felt inappropriate. This was back when Justin was still a boy, barely a teenager, new to the industry and full of excitement and trust. According to Suge, what was happening behind the scenes was deeply troubling. This kind of statement would raise eyebrows coming from anyone, but coming from Suge Knight, it hits differently. Suge is a man who has seen the most ruthless sides of both the streets and the entertainment business. He has been in the same rooms as Diddy. He knows the codes, the secrets, the games people play. And when he chooses to speak out about something like this, it carries real weight. But Suge is not alone in pointing the finger. Another former insider, Gene Deal, who served as Diddy's personal bodyguard for years, has echoed the same kind of warning. Gene Deal was not someone on the outside looking in. He was standing right next to Diddy during the most powerful years of his career. He was at the events. He saw the parties. He watched the people come and go. In multiple interviews, Gene Deal has spoken openly about the twisted atmosphere that surrounded Diddy. And when it comes to Justin Bieber, Deal has made it clear that he believes something awful was happening behind the scenes. He has said there was horrible stuff going on for that kid. Those were his words. Horrible stuff. And the way he says it leaves no room for misunderstanding. Deal has talked about how helpless he felt at times. He said there were moments he wanted to speak up, moments he knew something was not right, but the power Diddy had back then was impossible to challenge. People were afraid to cross him, afraid to lose their jobs, afraid to be blackballed forever. So they stayed quiet. And while they stayed quiet, Justin was left in an environment that no teenager should have been forced into. Then there's Jaguar Wright as well.
I'm tired of Usher. I wish somebody would come out and just like sue him. Like, we need Usher sued. No, we do. We need a victim to come out and be honest about him. Because what I'm realizing is that he's gonna fake the funk into the victim, man. He's just gonna keep on sucking the devil's. And I don't know, like with a baby, that pacifier. Sometimes you gotta pull it out. You know what I'm saying? And take it away, right? When the babies used to sucking on the pacifier. That motherfucker sucking on do what? So you take it out the mouth. Now it's gonna scream and holler, but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object. And that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He been sucking on Diddy a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without the devil's mouth or ass. Like people look at Usher, they don't see that. They not seeing the victim. They not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there. Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there, but you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
These are not isolated accounts. They are part of a much larger, darker story. A story where young artists were promised the world, but were pulled into something far more destructive. A story where fame came with a cost that nobody warned them about. A story where adults who should have been mentors and protectors instead became gatekeepers to things no child should have been exposed to. Hailey Bieber knows this story better than anyone. She may not be naming names outright, but her recent behavior, her interviews, and the way she speaks about Justin's past make it clear that she has seen and heard things that still haunt her. She has hinted at the pain. She has alluded to the truth. And now the voices around her are starting to confirm what she has been carrying in silence. There is a pattern. Diddy gets close to young, rising stars. He showers them with gifts. He gives them access to things most people only dream about. But at the same time, he pulls them into a lifestyle that is anything but glamorous. A lifestyle filled with secrecy, older men, private parties, blurred boundaries, and a level of control that leaves young artists confused, broken, and unable to speak up. Justin Bieber was not the first, and sadly, he may not have been the last. But what sets his story apart is that now, finally, people are beginning to talk. The walls of silence are cracking. Former insiders are coming clean. And with each truth that comes to light, the industry's most carefully protected secrets are starting to unravel. What happened to Justin is not just a chapter in a celebrity biography. It is a warning, a signal to look deeper, to ask harder questions, to listen when the people closest to the pain finally start to speak. Because when Suge Knight, Gene Deal, Hailey Bieber, and others all point in the same direction, it is no longer speculation. It is something much closer to truth. Hailey Bieber has been around this story for a long time, much longer than most people realize. Even before she and Justin officially became a couple, their lives were quietly connected. They were both part of the same Hollywood circles. They had the same friends. Their families moved in similar environments. And from early on, Hailey could see there was something different about Justin, something heavy, something unsettled. Back then, they were not close. She was just another young face in the crowd, watching the chaos swirl around the rising pop star. But even from a distance, she could see the pressure building, the strange friendships, the nonstop attention, the way older men seemed to always have access to him. She saw the headlines, she heard the rumors, and while she did not know everything, she knew enough to feel like something was off. As they grew older and their relationship became more serious, the surface-level image began to fade. Once she became Justin's girlfriend, and later his wife, Hailey stepped into the center of his world, and with it, into the center of his pain. she began to understand that the things she had only sensed from afar were very real and far worse than she had imagined. She saw the way Justin carried himself behind closed doors, the way he would shut down for days at a time, the way certain names or memories triggered a reaction he could not explain. She noticed the way his mood shifted whenever Diddy's name came up, even casually. And when the lawsuits started piling up against Diddy, when accusations of SA and manipulation hit the headlines, she saw the spiral happen in real time. Justin did not just react like someone reading the news. He reacted like someone reliving it, the pain, the confusion, the feeling of being used. It all came rushing back. Hailey was there for all of it. She watched the man she loved fall into emotional tailspins. She saw his past creeping back up to the surface. She saw how the public stories matched the private moments he had kept buried for years. And with that resurfacing came a flood of destructive habits. The drug use, the panic, the mental health breakdowns, the moments where he could not even explain what was wrong, only that he felt lost, triggered, and hollowed out.
I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody. Yeah, if she ever needs me, I'm just a call away.
Hailey became his anchor during those moments. She had no choice. She could not unsee what she now knew. She started connecting the dots. She knew what he had been exposed to as a teenager. She knew who had been in his life. And now, as it all unraveled publicly, she was finally seeing just how deep the wounds really went. She has never come out and said everything directly, but her actions say more than words ever could. The way she fiercely protects him, the way she speaks carefully when discussing his past, the way she leans in when he falls apart. It is clear that she knows what happened to him. She saw it when it started from a distance. She lived it up close as his wife, and now she is carrying the truth with him as the rest of the world begins to catch up. Hailey has seen it all, and that is exactly why her quiet warnings matter so much now. So, what do you think? Comment down below and let us know. If you liked this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.